Welcome to Bad Calls, formerly Tennis Sucks podcast. We got our guys, Travis and Graham here. We got 2 tournament recaps to go through.
And I want to start with saying you had a rumor that I thought was a bad call, but was not a bad call. So you're the only one who makes good calls. Was
it the trade? Yeah.
Megan DeZone trade.
Yeah.
Which we were certain. Bullshit. But you were right.
I got that good intel.
We'll give you, no kidding. We will give you more respect from now on.
Yeah, I got that good. Actually, I'll shout out to I don't know if I should reveal my sources.
I think you should.
Yeah.
That's not a good thing to do.
I know who it is.
He knows who he is.
Eric Tyth or something.
I'll bleep that out.
Oh, why?
It is him.
It is him? Is that the last name right? Tice?
Tice, yeah.
Tice, Eric Tice.
Yeah, solid source, knows what's going on before anyone else does. So yeah, let's start with the first recap. We came and visited you in Cape Coral for the day. That was a fun trip for us.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, Will.
It didn't take too long to get there, but we spent more time in the car than we did watching pickleball.
100%. Hey, we won the first game.
We got to see that. That was fun.
Yeah.
And then we didn't. Then we went letting it, and it just went.
Yeah.
I liked how you were, Fahey did the, nope. Travis's next 4 hits. Nope. Nope.
No, I did a yep.
Yep.
That's amazing.
You know what I've realized?
The wrong guy to chirp around.
Well, no, I don't mind it, but it's fine. She can do whatever she wants. But what I have realized lately with the chirping, which I'm really disappointed about, is there's now like a contingent of players that have no wit whatsoever. None. Zero. There's not even like any craft in their shit talking. It's just, rah!
Yeah.
That's it. It's like, come on, call me bald, call him slow,
Right.
anything, but don't just raw in my face. Like, be sharper than that.
You got it.
That's all I see. I want the days of like, purely Hayden where he calls me names and he goes, for Matt, he's obviously had the greatest line of all time, the Rogan right sider.
Right.
Like, fucking, these are epic.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is he chirping the same way anymore? Or is he chilled out on the chirping?
It's less, but he'll still throw it out there. It's less, but he'll do it.
Yeah. Maybe he just waits for the right person. Have you played? You played him recently? Has he chirped at you recently?
Yeah, he was making fun. Even though it worked, he kept saying like such a bad speed up. It's so bad. Can't believe that would work. How did that work? Stuff like that.
Okay, got it. But nothing like super creative. We got to get some real
he didn't need to.
zingers.
He was kicking my ass too badly. I think if it got close, he might try to throw out some weird shit.
You got a good lob on him.
Yeah, he corrected my math. I think I said 2 for 3. He was like, actually 1 for 3, 1 for 3.
He's right. It was 1 for 3.
No, he was absolutely. I meant to say like 1 for 3, 33%, and I spoke wrong, and he was on top of it, which I appreciate. I always like a good math kind of guy, who keeps you up. Numbers got to be sharp.
Right. That's awesome. So yeah, I think that you went to round of 16 with Elise. Was it
32? 32. We won our first one, and then we lost to Jay DeVilliers and Kate Fahey.
Yeah.
A lot of good teams these days.
Yeah.
We didn't play very. I mean, Elise and I hadn't played well really since Daytona for a variety of reasons, and like not to put it on that because everyone's dealing with the same thing. But in Cape Coral, the winds were like 40-mile-an-hour gusts. The day before when we practiced, it was insane.
Yeah.
And so we just never got any feel or any rhythm.
Yeah.
And they were ugly matches, and we didn't handle it as well as maybe they did.
I did notice that like what's nice though is you stayed on the court for quite a while after with Elise, kind of talking about your strategy and what you might do differently, which I think is kind of different for you because normally on a loss you're like, all right, I'm out.
Yeah, I mean, but she and I established a partnership, so it's not like I'm gonna bail, and we'll have the conversation later. But we're gonna sit there at least for a moment and see if our initial thought about what took place is jiving.
Right.
If we're like both fucking way off the map, then that's not good.
Right.
But,
and you communicate more than most other partners you've had, I think, in between points, which I think is nice.
No, I think especially in that one, it was interesting because I think her paddle had delammed a little bit. And it's one of those moments where she was struggling with her drop. Like she probably missed 80% of her drops as far as high. They're all high. And that's the opposite generally for Elise. She's like 80% nut, 90% maybe even with the drop. And it was like, is my paddle? So I was like I didn't know whether to like reassure her, hey, you're fine, it's going to come, or you got to change the paddle. Yeah. And I probably should have told her. And that's actually primarily what we were talking about after, like, hey, if you think it's delammed or something, fucking tell me. And like, let's get that hot paddle out of there. Right. It's hard in the moment because you're playing and you're trying to focus on what you're doing. You know something's up, but you're like, is it me?
Sure.
Are my nerves making the ball fucking 12 feet over the net, or is my paddle way poppier than it should be? And so I think it's up to us as partners to be like, hey, that's not normal. It's not coming off normal. Grab another one.
Right. And Graham, you'd noticed, I think, that one of the ways that, was it De Villiers was targeting Elise in that match?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if people care, but it just seemed like, you know, it was almost just like a flip up kind of, you know, high towards her head. A soft flip, not like targeting. Preparing for her counter because she was countering, you know, like actually trying to go for a counter from a step or two off the kitchen line. And that speed's not quite enough to stop a player like Jay from
a male in general.
A male from just
and that's
putting
the
that
issue.
next one away.
If
So
she
it was
backs
like,
up, right.
It was like a lift at the face. She backs up, counters it as hard as she can, and then Jay's sitting there with a forehand or a backhand ready to put it away.
Right.
And it happened a handful of times, more than a handful of times throughout the match.
I told her this. I said, that's the play when I played you last year. I would do it over and over. As soon as I see you back off the line, I have zero issue thinking you're going to hit through me. So I'm just going to pop it at you, and you can swing as hard as you want. Odds are I'm going to outhand the next one. And so if she's going to back up off the line, she's either got to, you know, reset it, or she's got to hold the line, one or the other.
Right.
But yeah, it's pretty standard. In general, most girls, if you see them back off the line, you're going to make that play.
Right.
Very few have enough power to just sit there and just beat the shit out of you.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah. So the other headlines from that particular event was that Lucien Goins beat Ben Johns, St. Pete player.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay. Yeah. Lucien.
You guys know him? Have you met him before?
Funny. Yeah. Go ahead.
We beat him.
We did beat him. We played him actually in a money ball. And
Beat him twice.
I remember playing against him and thinking like, this kid's cardio-ish. Like his wrists are so floppy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like the way better floppy version, you know, 10 times. I always call Graham floppy wrist because he like, I don't know, the wrist is never in the right position, at least as far as I'm concerned. Just like flops like this. And Goins, man, his wrist is so loose and flexible, and he's doing all kinds of crazy shit with the ball. It'd be really good.
Wow.
So I technically have a win against Ben Johns, another win against Ben Johns.
Indirect is the appropriate term. Indirect win.
Yeah, I beat Lucien, and then Lucien beats Ben Johns and Gabe Tardio. Therefore, I beat Ben Johns and Gabe Tardio.
Right. And the other one was what? Fetty? Is that right?
No, he has never beaten Fetty. That was with me with Rowler to Hart.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Who was your other indirect win against Ben Johns?
There's
then?
tons of them. I can't even begin.
Wait, maybe it's Wes Gabrielson. Did Wes ever beat
That's a direct.
Ben, maybe?
Oh.
An indirect. Yeah, I know that's a direct.
Yeah, whoever Wes beats, I've beaten.
Probably still a little bit better then.
Whoever Spencer Lanier beats, I've beaten. Mark those down.
Yes.
Kyle Yates, whoever Kyle Yates beats, I've beaten.
That's true.
And he was like 6-time world champ, so.
Yeah.
But no, that's awesome. Him and George. You know George's last name?
Rongalov.
No, I don't remember.
Both those guys train locally, play all the money balls around here. I guess they were losing too many money balls to the locals like us. They're like, let's take it at national, see if we can win some on the road. And they found some easier players to beat.
Yep.
Nice.
Sounds about right. Yeah, that Rongalov kid, he used to play against my student, Harrison Shepard, in tennis all the time. I remember the little brothers. I think they had 2 or 3 brothers that would play all the local tennis tournaments. Good athlete.
Shout out to Bardmore and Damon. He's training up some players over there. He's got Rachel under his belt, and now George, and a little bit of time with Lucien. He's got a resume going as a pretty elite coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying that we should get him as an MLP coach, but you were saying he's probably pretty happy with his tennis coaching still.
He likes to teach. He's a tennis guy at heart. UF Gator, right? Gator tennis player like Ryan Sherry, and I think he prefers tennis right now over pickleball.
I wanted to go real quick with Coral Gables and talk about Ben winning with Diescu.
Right.
Diescu on the right. They beat Klinger and JW in the semi. I actually thought they shouldn't have won that match. They were not the better team, but they ended up winning. And fucking Diescu is a machine. No matter where you put him, the guy is just not making any errors. I don't think he attacked on the right off the bounce one time, but talk about making 764 dinks in a row, and he did. And then, I mean, it was crazy. Like, I don't think he missed one fucking dink. And so you can really make the argument right now that compared to different partners, right side, left side, that he's the best men's doubles player in the world. I wouldn't have guessed that, but it states that as of now. And then, you know, after Dallas, obviously, Ben's now won 3 events with 3 different partners this year. He's he dealt with the wind in both of them very, very well. Because, man, Dallas and fucking Coral Gables were the 2 windiest events I probably ever played in. In Dallas, 100 miles away in Amarillo apparently was 100-mile-an-hour winds.
Jesus, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And they lifted the cap, so you have to play these now, right? Like, I mean, what's the situation on when they call it?
You know, that one of the PPA people asked me that, and it was like, you know, tennis doesn't have one, but the ball doesn't move quite like in tennis. You know, obviously it's so light, it's a wiffle ball, it moves a shit ton. But with that said, like, I think you just got to play. I think it just is what it is. Unless you're going to have everything indoor, you just got to fucking play.
Yeah.
And we made a mistake in our round of 16 in mixed. Elise and I were outdoors against Eric Onsens and Alex Truong.
Did you complain about the win, or
No,
did they
I did
complain about
not.
the win?
They did.
Oh.
They were adamant. And we had actually won the toss and we're on the better side.
I think they had even like scored a point and still were
They
like,
did.
we don't do this anymore.
Well, yeah, they did. And then I said, all right, we'll go inside if we restart the match entirely. And they're like, all right, we'll do that.
Oh, wow. They sacrificed the point?
They did.
How far away was the inside?
10 seconds.
Oh, it's at the same facility.
Yeah, at the same facility.
Why were they not using those full time then?
I don't know. This is an outdoor event.
What?
They couldn't probably run the whole tournament on it.
Wow.
But either way, you know, we went indoors and that was an error. We should have stayed outside. The speed with which Eric Onsens was hitting the ball with that fucking Yola 4 was like, I mean, guy's a 25% better player than he was. Sweet spot is so much larger, so much more. The response is consistent. He nutted every drop. He nutted every reset. He blasted forehands at Mach speed. Same with Alex
So they
Truong.
tuned it back. They tuned back the paddles like you said they were going to.
I don't think they've started doing that yet. I thought that was September.
You think they're going to tune back the 4S in
I
September?
have no faith in that happening now. None.
So
I think
paddles.
I think we are where we are.
Yeah,
I don't see any.
I think so too.
I think as unfortunate as that is, that's what it is.
I think players will adjust and everyone will get better. Everyone will get better at handling the speed.
No,
You don't think
that's not
so?
relevant. No, it's not even a fair point. It doesn't matter about that. What matters is that once you start a hand battle, there's no way to keep up with what's transpiring. It's impossible.
But I think that everyone will get faster and better overall, and there'll start being hand battles again that are longer. No?
Absolutely not. Nope.
Oh.
Not even close. It'll never happen. It's
Mark
so,
this moment down in podcast history,
Graham,
please.
I'm telling you, it's humanly impossible. It's impossible. It's so fast. And now the problem is also is driving is so much statistically is like so much better in theory than dropping that why statistically would you go back to, you know, when it used to be 80-20 in favor of the drop. Now it's 80-20
I'm saying it's still going to be there. I'm just think that people are going to get sharper with their volleys.
I know what you're saying.
They're going to get faster with their
saying.
hands.
It's just a
their
ludicrous
hand eye is
statement.
going to get faster.
What?
Everyone's just going to get sharpen up.
They're going to catch up to the
Spidey
speed. Senses all of a sudden, like the human form is going to alter drastically.
I think it's like
your eye can only keep up with something at a certain speed. That makes no sense.
Like, here's a good example. It's probably not a good example. It's probably a bad
Probably
example, but I'm giving you anyway.
Example.
Nolan Ryan threw the ball at 100 miles an hour, right? In pitching.
Yep.
And like, he was the best pitcher of all time because he threw it so damn fast, right? Now a lot of people throw like 96 to 98, and people tee off on that all the time.
See, I feel bad already because he started with, this is probably a bad example. It's such a bad fucking example. Because what you have to realize is that the guys are throwing maybe at an incrementally higher speed than Nolan Ryan was, let's say 1%, 2%, 5%. And the variation in paddle velocity now is 30%. A slight differential there.
Gotcha.
See, I told you, big math guy. I want those things right.
What about serving in tennis? Hasn't that gotten faster?
Not
as of
substantial.
late?
Yeah, it's gotten faster, but it's not like overwhelming. The thing that's changed a lot is the RPMs and the speed of the court. But serves maybe were 120 in the
And now they get up to
90s.
140.
Yeah, but guys generally serve still around 120, 130 at the peak. And they slowed the courts down a lot. Even at 120, then guys couldn't get the balls back, so they literally slowed the courts down so people could make more fucking balls.
All right.
Listen, if somebody's sitting on a counter and they catch it leaning in, I don't care if you are fucking Spider-Man or Batman. It's over. Like, yes, will the guys with faster hands still create a longer rally than is happening right this second? Yes. Will it ever be like it was? No.
All right.
Sadly.
Interesting. So you're still on the train of let's decrease the speed of the paddles.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not happening.
Absolutely. No, it's not happening.
Graham's
It's not happening.
And it's funny because someone said to me, like, you got to talk more about this. I was like, first of all, it's all I fucking talked about. And second of all, like, it's one thing to say, like, this should happen, and then to say what will happen. I can say it should 50 million fucking times. Will it? No. It's like, ultimately, you accept the fate. It's a different fucking game. It's going to remain a different game. It is what it is.
Generally, anything we've said should happen in the game didn't happen.
Yeah, I mean,
We've made a lot of
we make a lot of fucking
recommendations.
bad calls. Who are we? We're a bunch of fucking idiots sitting here.
yeah.
Look where we are. Someone actually came to me the other day, like, hey, I went through St. Pete. I kept hearing about, those Crescent Lake courts you talk about. They're just shit. And I was like, hey, watch your fucking mouth.
Yeah.
All right? Like, you guys really play there?
Yeah.
We do, all right?
Right.
So anyway,
exactly.
the point being is we are scum of the earth, and this is where we are.
Yep.
Our opinions don't matter.
Exactly. Yep. Well, looking at some of the headlines back at the Texas Open, the top 2 women's double teams didn't make the finals. So Annalie and Catherine beaten by, I forget.
Eda Tuyoneta.
Yes. How do we say her last name again?
I think Tuyoneta.
I got a funny story on that. Why did her name change?
I think it was the word.
Oh, really?
I knew it.
Is
Oh my
that
God.
true?
Graham
I
absolutely
think so.
roasted me.
Okay. I
don't know for sure. I think that's a common sense.
No, it's
answer,
not
isn't it?
common sense. That's actually not. I say the
Oh,
same thing to
God.
Luke. I say, what did the name change for? And he goes, she got divorced. And I'm like, why would you automatically jump to divorce? Couldn't she have gotten married?
She was married.
Oh, I didn't know
With a
that.
child.
Oh, so she
The
got
fuck is
divorced.
wrong with you guys?
I didn't know that.
Well,
But
I don't
you
know.
were right.
I guess so. I guess
You
I
knew that
somehow
too?
knew.
You knew she was married.
But I couldn't remember why.
Listen.
But then then when Graham was like, why wouldn't you just assume she was married? It's like, I don't know. I just thought she was getting divorced. I have no idea.
Most people, when they see the name change, you jump to marriage, not divorce. But Luke right away was like,
Okay, well, let's
She
be
got
really
divorced.
logical for a second.
I didn't know she was married. and had a kid.
Tuyoneta looks like her.
That's also maybe part of why
Right?
I thought
So
it.
it's
Who
like
knows?
Samoan
you
or
know?
something.
Oh,
Like,
oh.
That's her fucking maiden name. And yes, it's very clear that, maybe she could have gotten married. If it went from like Wright to Williams, I'd been like, all right, yeah. But
Yeah.
it went from Wright to Tuyoneta.
Damn. All right. Well, that was a
Either
bad call
way,
on you,
I
Graham.
believe, and I could be wrong. I think she got divorced, but yes, she and Callie Smith beat the
Number one seed.
the number 1 undefeated champions of the world
Yep.
in 75-mile-an-hour gusts, and nothing against them. They had to fucking deal with it, but it was crazy shit.
Yeah.
And they handled it really well. And
Yeah.
then the girlies lost to the most improved player in women's pickleball by a fucking country mile. Got to practice with her for a little bit. Tyra Black is not the fastest person or fastest girl in pickleball. She's the fastest person in fucking pickleball. The fucking defense is insane. We were playing mixed against her and Donald
She's
in
fast.
practice.
It's like her feet are fast.
She's fast. Her hands are fast, but her anticipation is so fast. And her first step burst from like here to that middle line, I feel like I wouldn't have even moved yet. She's so quick.
Wow.
So do you think that is primarily because she's so good at anticipating where the ball is going to come?
I think she has all aspects covered. She is an incredible defender, and I think that comes from tennis, is like reading where the ball is and the probability of where the ball is going to go. And then she just has an innate sense. Okay, the ball's going to go here, and then she's fast to it, really quick. And then she's got very good hand-eye. She will put the center of the paddle on the ball in adverse positions. The things she doesn't do well require her to be good at defense. Like, she doesn't have a great drop. She's not like super crafty around the line, but her hands are super fast. And again, her fucking foot speed is like, holy shit, next level. So yeah,
It's
she's the
wild.
most improved player. She and Paris Todd beat the girlies, and then they went on to win
Yeah.
it. It's 3 straight games in the final
Wow.
against Tuyoneta. And
But can
Callie
you
Smith.
explain to me why Tyra Banks is always falling
Tyra
over?
Banks. Tyra
Sorry, Tyra Black is always falling over.
because she's so overextended at times. And I think she's sliding the balls. And I think part of it, I don't say it's like an act, but I think part of it is like, a little extra flair at the end. Let's just say that.
Flair? Did she do that in tennis?
I couldn't tell you.
Oh, you didn't watch her play tennis?
I don't know much about her.
It just seems like I'm always seeing her roll an ankle,
Dude,
but she's
fu-
okay.
She's sliding and fully extended, and like, look at her body positions. If you slow down, like when she's making contact at times, it's like, holy shit, that's an athlete. Like, you slow down mine, I'm like, all stiff. She's fucking looks like Djokovic.
I heard that she doesn't drill. She's like
I
a lane
couldn't tell you.
C. She just does like really extended warm-ups and just like practices shots that way, but she doesn't like generally drill. She just likes to play games.
I mean,
Oh,
I'm
kinda
with
wild.
that. As long as you get the reps and you're
Yeah.
having fun, I think that's critical.
I feel like that it probably makes sense for having great defense though, right? When you playing games tends to force you to get good defense, maybe.
Maybe, but I think her defense comes from tennis. Tennis and just a sheer innate ability and athleticism. I even say this to Donald that I've talked about. You can see when guys are like really good at pickleball that weren't really good at tennis, because there are certain things like when the ball goes up, particularly from an overhead, guys who play tennis at a really high level will innately go to a certain spot. Guys who played pickleball at a high level do not. They're like wrong almost all the time. It's like the probability is so low that the ball is going to X position.
Got it.
And so, I won't name names, but I'm serious. You can see it. It's like they didn't move. And if you've played at a high enough level of tennis, like she does, she's literally moving towards the right spot every time.
I'm trying to like remember from in my head where this person normally hits it, and I go for those spots. Like they tend to hit this shot.
All
so
right,
I go
let's give it
cover
an
that
example.
spot.
Let's give pure probability example. If the guy has an overhead here on the right, okay?
Yep.
High forehand.
Yep.
I'm on the left and you're on the right. Where do we go?
I'm covering middle.
The dumbest shit I've ever heard.
Okay.
And you're covering the line.
I'm covering middle. You're covering wide. We leave the lines. The highest part of the net, the shortest bit of court, is the hardest shot to hit.
This one right here, you leave.
Yes, because it's the
I
least
agree
bit
with
of
that.
court to work.
Oh, got you. You moved that way.
He
and I
agrees with
moved-
it? He agrees with it now?
You're right. You're right on
Sure,
that.
I'm right. But my point is, he would probably have to think about it.
But I would have hit my overhead straight down the line.
You hit
He
your
would have missed
overheads
it
down the
wide,
line?
too. He would have missed it wide because you only get this much space to hit it to.
Luke,
That's the point.
Were you there when he was yelling at me about hitting it down, like covering the line too far
Oh,
over?
I remember this one.
And then I was like, but Josh, I was like, he always hits it there. I got to cover
He
this
never
spot.
hits it there.
He's like, no. I know that Josh listened to me. The next shot he hit, he burnt Travis down the line, not
Yeah,
covering the
that's
line.
true.
I was
That's
like,
amazing.
that's why I cover it, dude.
We should just have this conversation, Donald and I.
That's
It was
amazing.
great.
If
It
you're
was
wise,
great.
you almost straddle the middle line when the person is hitting their fourth.
That's
Or their
awesome.
third, excuse me.
Have we tackled this question before? But like, if you took all of the top PPA pros right now and you made a tennis tournament, who would end up on top? That you maybe wouldn't
What
expect.
kind of tennis?
Donald.
Singles or
Donald
doubles?
Donald.
Donald, I think he still plays the most, and then you'd
Caitlin
have to go,
Christian.
obviously go Jack.
Jack.
I mean, I think there's probably 30 men who are probably 1 through 30, and then
Yeah,
and
and
then
you're-
it goes
you're-
down.
Some of those younger guys are probably really good too.
Yeah,
though.
they're still probably really good. Guys who
Yeah.
are just coming out of college, like, that's a really high
Yeah.
level.
Right. Yeah.
Really high
Yeah.
level. I mean, I'm not even the top 35. I'd get my fucking ass kicked.
Really? You think
No,
so?
because I can't serve like that anymore. Serve is such a huge factor.
Oh, I see. Got it.
Like if you were just rallying in the middle, you're like, oh, he hits the ball nice. Strokes
Yeah.
are pretty, but you actually play, can't
Yeah,
move like
right,
that, and
right.
I can't serve like that anymore.
Yeah, I bet a lot of those younger guys that just came out of like, right in the balls.
Damn.
Those
Yeah,
guys
so
that
does
just
young
got out of D1 college playing tennis are probably solid.
I'd say DY would probably win. He still plays quite a bit. I mean, at least was. And then he played like a qualifier for the Atlanta Open last year and beat a couple guys with like 400 or 500 in the world. Like that's not easy to do.
Yep. We also saw a new recall.
Oh, the
Recall?
red dot thing?
Yes. What am I trying to
Is
say?
that new or just they brought it back?
Replay, right? System? Yeah.
Yeah.
Replay system.
Okay.
Challenge. Spot on, I think is what it's called.
Okay.
Is
And
that
they-
not the same one they used before that we used to
no,
watch?
I
That
think
was
that
the black dot.
Right,
So
this is a red
I don't
dot.
fucking know the
this is
difference.
their own homegrown version.
Oh,
'Cause-
really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. They didn't want to pay the fee
for
for that software, so they
right.
just made their own.
yeah.
I think I made this comment too about something, right? You're like, you said, oh, it's really expensive to use it. I'm like, let us make their own. It'll be cheap. In 6 months from now, everyone will be using it.
Yeah. And now that's what's happening.
Is that what this was? Yeah.
yeah.
I thought it was great.
We've had this conversation long ago. And I love how no matter what's said, you're like, I probably said this was right too. And you were probably wrong. No matter what is said,
No,
that's
you
like how
agreed
you
with me.
interpret everything.
I said we talked about it. You agreed with me.
Okay, fair
You're
enough.
like, this is really expensive right now. I'm like, yeah, but in 6 months, they're just going to make duplicates of this and we'll be able to get it for 50
I think they had
bucks.
already made the indication that they were going to copy it. Like they scammed
Yeah.
whoever. Like, oh, really? How do you guys do this?
How do you
Oh,
guys do
it's really blah, blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah,
they
blah.
hired them for one event, saw how they did it,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then went to the
This
drawing
is
board
really
and made their own.
fucking good.
Pretty much.
Hey, it fucking works. Good shit.
It was really good. That stuff's accurate, right?
Uh-huh.
It has, I guess it is. I mean, I don't know if they tested, but it looks like it's good.
But can I tell you what I get mad at is when I see the red dot is like almost touching the line, but that one's out. I don't know why. That drives me nuts. It's way too close.
Oh, okay.
How do we know that red
Yeah.
dot? If it's anywhere near the line,
Right.
that
Yeah.
ball should be in.
How is this pinpoint accuracy exactly happening?
We gotta give a little. We gotta give a little wiggle,
Margin of
You
error.
want leeway? So you want balls that are out to be called in?
like a hair, like a millimeter.
I really almost spit up my food. I'm gonna bend the rules to a
Am I-
more
Luke, am I
lenient-
wrong? Did
a
you-
more lenient direction?
Did you?
They'll
Did you?
just
I always
cut-
get it fucking right.
Cut to Graham and just be like, what do you think, Graham? He's like, we'll call that one in.
It was a hair out? Okay, a hair out. then.
yeah. How many hairs?
I mean,
Fuck getting it right.
49% of the ball is hanging over the line. The red dot is trying to touch the white line.
Yeah.
In.
Right.
But it didn't touch.
I know.
These are black and white things. You're just got like a big gray area here. I don't
Yeah,
understand.
that But man, it's accurate. I love it.
Yeah.
You gotta love that.
Yeah, no, that's a big step up.
And it definitely improved the cheating and challenging, I think, didn't it?
Made it better or more
Better.
cheating or less
No,
cheating?
people were like,
people can get away with shit.
no one was trying anything weird.
Right.
Unless they're trying to get a free timeout.
But it's in tennis, the ball is called out by the sound system immediately, right? Isn't that how it happens?
For Hawkeye?
Yes.
Sound system?
It's not. There's not even they don't even have refs anymore at most events. It's
Right.
just, oh!
So like you don't even have to think about whether to play the ball. It just decides for you as soon as it bounces.
I mean,
That's only true for serves though, right?
No,
it doesn't,
for every ball.
every ball, even on the baseline?
Yep. Every ball. Sideline, baseline, serve line.
A noise goes off when
Hence
it's out.
every ball, yes.
Wow, I didn't know that.
I mean, there's some events like the French Open, for example, which was like a big point of issue. Roddick made a big point of issue, which he's right. If you have the technology to make sure the call is right 100%, why have human error or interpretation? Like, just get it fucking right.
Yeah.
And so, for most events now, they use Hawkeye system that is automated and it just calls.
What?
Does the Tennis Association own Hawkeye?
They probably bought it, but I don't know if they own it.
That's what I mean. Why weren't they smart enough to just knock it off? Knock it off instead of paying for it every year.
Yeah.
Like PPA.
Get that guy and find him. And find that guy. That guy's a lot of money.
They should talk to us. We've got the technology, guys. We can help you out.
No, we would license that out for millions at this point. We're fucking crafty businessmen, let me tell you.
That's funny. Do you think that you would prefer to have that system where you don't have to make the call, it just calls it right away?
Not me.
Absolutely.
You wouldn't like that?
No.
Why do you say
Yeah,
that?
he would love the banter. The
I love the thrill of seeing it on the TV.
For a
Oh,
guy
the
who's so
drama.
non-controversial, timid, he's like, yeah, fight.
Yeah.
Fuck each other up, fucking assholes.
No. I like the call, and then I like to see it on the screen. Everyone's like, "Ooh, just
Okay,
missed."
okay.
I love that. I love that
Oh, I
moment.
see,
Can't you
I
do that any
see.
with the Hawkeye? Like calls out.
No,
like in
'cause
tennis.
it's- the Hawkeye's beeping, doesn't it?
Yeah, but no, it just goes. It literally makes it sound like, oh.
Yeah.
And then,
It's a weird-
but you can ask, be like, can I see the call? And they'll show it up on the thing. It's like, ooh, fuck, you just
because
missed
they don't
it.
trust the noise.
No, they just want to see how far they missed it by.
Yeah, it's just like in case you missed it, here it is.
Yeah.
Okay, then I like that system.
Yeah.
I like if it's calling it for you right away, but you can say, "Let me see it on the big screen."
Okay,
I love how you call
got
it that system like some revolutionary new shit been in play for fucking years.
I like that.
Watch some
Hawkeye.
fucking tennis, okay, buddy? We apparently got some pretty important tennis guests coming on. We're gonna need you to fucking know some more
That's
shit.
funny.
We can't have this guy over here saying, "Who's Steffi Graf?"
I'm gonna
Fucking do that.
I'm gonna ask them all about Hawkeye.
Oh god, that's great. She'll have every answer for you.
That's amazing. But you had a better run with Elise in Texas, right?
Yeah, we
You got
did a
to
little better. It was
round
the
of 16.
the craziest match ever. First round, we played Marshall Brown and Alex Walker, and legit, like I hit a lob that I hit almost as hard as I can, and it bounced on their side and came back to ours. Just in
Oh
context of
my
how
God.
windy it was.
Love that.
You couldn't play at all, and we squeaked out of it somehow, ugly as shit. And then it was definitely windy for the second round, but not nearly as like we almost found a little area of normalcy.
Yeah.
Elise played great. She was like, I kept calling her Shaq as a joke because there was a couple points where she was like driving and crashing and putting the ball away. I was like, listen, that's like Shaq taking threes. Don't do that. Like you're getting this false sense of confidence. You can do that. You can't do that. And we were just like joking about it the whole time. And so I was like, Diesel. That's a Diesel.
Nice.
And she was having fun, but she played great against Matt and Lucy. I think we were like maybe down or 7-all game one, and then from there 7-3 or something.
Was Matt talking?
She was awesome.
Was Matt talking shit?
No, not at all. Matt and I have it's turned into like this very respectful banter relationship back and forth. Maybe like one little word here and there, but nothing like is normal for either of us.
So what's going on with them? Why do they? I feel like I don't see them in the round of 16s or quarters as often now.
I mean, there's probably a few reasons. I don't think it's just one. I think it's difficult to date someone that you play with, so it's like that probably doesn't help.
Yeah.
And then, the older you get, as am I, it's hard to be as agile and take over the court at the same clip. I think as the paddles have gotten faster and faster and faster and faster and faster and fucking faster. Yeah, kitchen. Faster and faster. Then, the really good things that Matt's good at, like speeding up off the bounce or dinking, they're not as prevalent because you can just fucking blast the shit out of the ball at the girl and it becomes like this, let's call it agile chaos. So I think it's difficult. And then,
If you had a girlfriend or a wife that also played pro pickleball, would you play with them or would you split up and have different partners?
I mean, depends how good she is.
She's the number one in the world.
Fucking play with her every time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Duh.
He
Why
always say
would
this
you
shit
do
about me
that?
too. Like, I hear these things like, would you be upset if your significant other made more money than you? And be like, fuck no.
No.
Make
no.
it all. Honey, get that shit.
No,
all day.
The reason I'm
You know,
saying
like,
it
I
is,
don't have one hint of like insecurity. If she's carrying me to victories,
but what
fucking
about
carry
what
me.
about doubling your chances of getting medals?
no, you this. He said this one last time with the
don't like
Johnsons.
that,
the
huh?
dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Really?
No, how does it make any sense? I don't get that. No, if I'm better with that particular person and we have more fun playing or a higher probability of winning as a team, then let's take that chance.
Are you gonna? Okay. I guess if you're winning,
Still got to go through Ben and Anna Lee.
if you're winning, if you're losing, you're probably not having so much fun.
No, if we're losing, she drops my ass.
Yeah.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
If she's the numero uno and I'm numero 20, then okay, see you later, number 20. Get the fuck out of here.
Mm.
I'm number 1, you're number 20, you're a piece of shit.
How's partnerships with Donald going? How did you guys play in the last 2 events?
It's like terrible, to be honest. We got work to do. That's all I
Yeah?
can say. Yeah, we got work to do. We got to figure out how to get more practice in and get some more clarity in how we're trying to play.
Yep.
And we're just not playing enough. You know, that's my take. Like we just walk in and we haven't, you know, been able to go to have, let's say, a 3 or 4 day training
Yeah.
block against better players. So we're like, okay,
Right.
this is what's working. This is what's not working. We're just kind of going out and playing a few rec games and then going to play the match. And it just
Yeah.
feels very much like, I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah. You got to have
So-
some strategy, some
Yeah, we got some
chemistry.
strategy and we got to be able to execute what we're trying to do. And I think that only comes from reps against quality players. And, you know, like, we're having ongoing conversations about how to make that happen. And hopefully we do.
Sweet.
I just got my ticket to the Miami Open.
Wow. You're going to play some tennis or watch some tennis, huh?
You gonna go watch the tennis?
Well, I going to Racket X. Do you guys know
Oh.
what that is?
Yeah,
I
I
have
did
tickets
it
to
last
Racket
year.
X too.
Oh, you did?
I did it for Engage last year.
I heard it wasn't that great last year, but they're hoping it's better this year.
I'm sure it wasn't bad last year, but I'm sure they'll put more energy and effort into
The
it.
sponsor list they have is insane.
Are you
Yeah.
going to Racket X?
No, I am
Okay.
not.
Can I ride with you?
You'll be in Utah, right?
Me?
No,
I leave for Utah a week from Wednesday.
a week from tomorrow.
Correct.
Gotcha.
8 days.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah. So, and then I just got in my email as I was riding over here a ticket to Miami Open. I guess it comes with MLP. So it's Sunday. It's a Sunday 7 p.m. session,
Okay.
which I'm guessing
This
is like
Sunday?
a final. Yeah, this Sunday.
No,
Is that
that's
right?
not the final.
Oh,
The
it's
final will be a week from Sunday. So that'll be like
not.
a.
Oh, all right.
Trust me, that's better. You don't
It
want to
is?
go just the final. Yeah.
Okay.
This is like such an amateur tennis thing. On average, it's way better to go like round of 16 quarters day because there's so much shit happening around the grounds and you want to be able to pop around.
Mm.
Don't like go to see the one player that you want to play. Go to the match that's at like 5-all in the third and draw and shit's getting going.
Really?
Yeah. Trust me.
Oh, I want to see like Djokovic.
Yeah, you will, and you can.
Alcaraz.
But depending on who he's playing, and I'm not saying,
Shelton.
but he might have like a 3 and 2. You know, like go watch Shelton when one of those guys is going to have a battle early. Go watch that one. That's my point. Like have the live scores open and be like, oh shit, Djokovic is at 5-4 in the third. Let's go watch that. Don't watch the guy who's up 6-3, 5-2 serving for it.
Are you going to bet on any of these Miami Open
Every
matches?
single match, yeah.
Do you want me to chirp the people that you want to lose?
I think that's like illegal. I think that's like insider shit. I can't do that.
Is it really?
No, I'm not. Yeah. I don't want you to chirp at anybody. No, absolutely not.
Travis right in my head says
give me a word that the person rhymes with that you want to lose.
Okay, I'll think of that. Get some good shit going. Some good, real like third grade.
Do you think my guy Draper will be there?
Yeah, of course, I'll be there.
Hell yeah.
The guy is his guy now.
Draper?
The guy is his guy.
Why is
now.
that his guy?
He's British.
Well, he's
Won.
British, and what did he just do?
He just won. He just beat Alcaraz in the
Yeah.
Indian Wells.
But who did he beat in the final?
Was it not Alcaraz?
Yes. You guys are almost there. You'll get there.
It's Sinner.
Graham,
Sinner?
no,
I have no
he's-
idea. I didn't see
Sinner's
Indian Wells at
banned
all.
right now.
Oh, you're right. That's right.
God, you guys are shitty tennis
Yeah,
fans.
Sinner's a cheater.
No, he's not. Don't say that. That's not nice. He's like me. He just falls to the wayside of the team around him. I mean, not the actual
who did
players
he
around me.
beat?
Please, no offense.
I don't know. Who did he beat?
He beat Holger Rune in the final, and he beat Alcaraz in the semi. Lost one set the entirety of the tournament to Alcaraz, 6-0 in the second. He's a 6'4" lefty monster that's a very handsome young man, and he is a fucking star in the making, 10x.
Nice.
Draper.
Jack Draper. Graham, I'm going to need your nerdy shit where you know stats on point, okay?
Yeah.
This not knowing what happened, it's not going to fly.
with Indian Wells.
Just with tennis in general.
I
Okay,
watched a
We're a
ton.
very
I watched
diverse
a ton of,
podcast here.
I watched a ton of pickleball this weekend. I actually bought the Pickleball TV app for the first time.
Oh wow.
I was
had a code.
on court 5.
Damn. Give me my code.
That's how deep you were.
I was
Court
deep.
five.
Guys
I
fucking
was
know
deep.
beat. Funny, I've been watching way less pickle, hence my results, and watching a lot more tennis.
We're all over the place. All right, let's see. Let me go to some good calls, bad calls. I only have 2. Is this a good call or a bad call? Dane Gingrich says that
Usually
we should
bad
make
calls from Dane. No,
Oh, yeah?
Dane's actually got some good points sometimes.
his call is we should make the senior pro category 50 plus.
What is it now?
I thought it was 50 plus.
No, it's higher. I think it might be like 60 or something
No,
like
it's
that.
50
it's 50.
plus.
Oh, maybe he said he should lower it.
To 45
Maybe
plus.
to like 45 or
Oh,
40.
I just didn't like that. And they mentioned that, and then they like went through all the girls that were having success. Jimmy clapped back at him. It was like Tina Pisnick and others who were like 40 in their 40s having success. No, I don't think so. I think unfortunately to some extent, pickleball is still so sports or like skill specific. If you have the right partner or play the right, you can play until virtually
Yeah.
55.
What was his argument for why we should go younger?
Generally, that just like you're pretty locked out as a person at that age. Like you just have to be
Oh.
Like,
fitter.
you're not having
So
good
it's like a
results.
purgatory zone between 40 and 50.
Yeah, kind of. I think. Yeah, saying that like
You're not
you
going to
know,
be pro.
and it would make the senior category more entertaining to watch because you're getting to watch like, you know, really good play.
I don't think anyone will ever really watch senior category.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think.
They tried that in tennis. They tried it in golf. It doesn't work. People want to watch the best players in the world. They'll never
Right,
care.
right.
And this is coming from someone who's on my way
Yeah.
to.
people want to watch young people in general in life
Now,
and everything.
I think that's what he's saying that does have some merit is, yeah, you probably don't want, and we've said this, you don't want people who maybe look out of shape, unathletic. It lowers the credibility of the sport, but you know, that is what it is. I don't think the age is necessarily the primary factor. I think it's, you just want to watch the best players.
So bad call.
I'm going to call it a bad call.
Yeah, bad call.
Okay.
And I don't want to be a senior in 2 years either.
Yeah.
You know
right.
what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't want to be a senior ever. That's
Two,
coming.
2 years from now, I'd be like, yo, Graham's a senior player. Like,
Rays are coming in pretty strong.
And then the second one, good call, bad call. A trade at MLP. Alex Trung was traded for Elise Jones. You
I mean,
think
I
that's
love
a good
Elise.
call?
I think it's pretty straight. I think
Straight
they
up?
both
Straight trade?
bring different assets. You know, I think it's pretty close.
Yeah.
yeah. They're even skilled players.
Yeah.
I think probably the move was my guess before we started the pod was that Alex moved down to South Florida, right?
I don't know.
I think Alex might have moved back down to South Florida
From Utah.
and Elise is still there. And I think Utah is big on having like us. They want their team to be
Localized.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Okay, cool.
Alex played amazing, by the way. Got to credit her. She's playing really, really well.
Yeah, we had her on the pod not too long ago, and I feel like she's made huge strides since then.
Nothing to do with the Yola paddle.
Nah. Eric and Alex, nothing to do with it. If they were playing what they'd been playing with prior,
Same
thing.
results.
Yeah, guaranteed. Thanks for that, Graham.
All right, those are the things I have. What's next? What's coming up next? We got Orlando
St.
coming
George.
up soon. St. George. Okay.
Yeah,
St.
this is
George.
an interesting. Ask him who his partners are.
All right.
No, he dropped me.
Oh no, that was
Oh,
it yesterday.
no.
I know.
Gosh darn
Well, he
it,
said the
man.
person he was supposed to play with didn't
Came
have
back.
didn't have a mixed partner, and then got a mixed partner at the 11th hour, and then said, "Hey man, I'm sorry." He just called me. I was like, "All right, whatever."
So who's
That
your partners? Are you
sucks.
partnerless right now?
As of now, I'm partnered with Elise and men's. I don't know.
Graham. Hop in.
That's where I played last time. I went somewhere different.
No, you didn't play in St. George.
Well, Utah.
St. George. It's at a really nice resort this time. Really nice.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
yeah. Apparently, it's called like the Black Diamond Resort or something.
Gosh, I want to go somewhere fun. You like that area?
You'd love it, Graham. You'd have a great
I
time.
remember the last time we went, that Red Roof Inn or whatever we were staying at.
This is not going to be like that. That was a little rough.
That's funny.
Trying to get the full
I
on
think you
pro
need it. I think
experience.
you need it. You got to get out of here for a little bit.
I do.
You've been cooped up
Yeah,
in
you
St. Pete,
do.
and you're just.
You hardly played any pickleball.
I'm telling you, it's just disgusting. I drive by. I used to know where Graham was 24 hours a day, which I really did enjoy, and now I don't know where he is.
I
don't know
know.
what he's doing. I don't know who he's with.
Yep.
I feel like
Yeah.
I'm being cheated on left and right.
Yeah.
Like a fucking guy has blocked me.
We're about to travel a bunch though here, so
Notice he says we.
Yeah.
we are.
Where are we? Where are we?
You're traveling too?
Oh, I always travel.
Yeah,
But
but I'm
we-
saying,
all the MLP
oh,
You
events.
weren't talking about me. You were talking about you and Ruben, right?
No, I meant you and me with the team. Of Florida
Damn, I thought
Florida
you meant like you
Smash.
and Ruben. I was like, yes, the couple's back.
Power couple.
Florida Smash.
Yeah, we are. It's gonna be extensive.
Sweet. Well, good luck in St. George then. Hope you find someone.
I hope I do too.
Damn, that's sad. He was playing with Dylan Frazier.
It was looking that way.
That would have been cool.
I know.
That would have been really cool.
How is Dylan
Yeah.
left side? He's not quite the left side guy yet, right?
I mean, I'll tell you, he's getting better. That Yola paddle's helping him so much.
Yeah.
He's-
Does he
he's
have a
different boy.
two-handed backhand
Yeah,
roll?
it's actually pretty good.
Oh,
he's,
it
he's
is?
developed it. It's not bad at all.
Damn.
Yep.
I would like to have seen that.
That was a sick match, by the way. The match with him and Diescu against
yeah,
Cardio and Johns. Fucking what a match.
Yeah, it's
that
good.
was insane.
that was good pickleball.
That was really good pickleball, especially considering the conditions, like crazy.
Yeah,
And we
pickleball's
gotta
good,
give
man.
Zane a shout out. Zane and fucking Ryan Fu had match point on Cardio
Oh,
and Ben
they
Johns.
blew
And
it.
they didn't blow shit. Zane made a great move and fucking cracks a poach coming forward and literally clips the tape.
Yeah.
Best match.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
Wild.
I wanted it for him. And then Zane, did you see he heard the Andiamo from
Yeah.
and then
Yeah,
yelled
that
back.
guy's
So
sharp,
good.
man. He's fucking sharp.
Love
You
that.
gotta love it. Yeah.
Yeah, he's so good at that.
He's good at
I
that
wish you
stuff.
had more of that.
I'm not that witty.
Damn.
All right. That's what we got.
Thanks,
Good
guys.
time.
Bad calls.
Yeah. Thanks
Go
for
watch
listening.
the Miami Open. Great event.
I'll be in the stands cheering against who?
I'll let you know when my bets are in.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.